Hey everyone, how are you all doing? So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for all the comments, likes, everything else over the past couple of weeks. I need to apologise about not being online either. Unfortunately, a dose of man flu and also just the start of Easter holidays has meant things have been a little bit chaotic the past few weeks. But I'm back, I'm here, and we'll go again. Now, oh, and before I go on, I need to stop and say thanks so much for all the subscribers. I hit 1,000 a few days ago, which is insane. I cannot believe that many people are interested in what I've got to talk about. It just blows me away. So thank you if you subscribed recently. And for those that have been subscribed for a little while now, thank you again for your continued support. It means a hell of a lot. Now, I was asked quite a few times in the comments about what it is I actually do for a living. I was a bit hesitant in the past videos to kind of talk about it. I kind of want to keep it fairly private, but I guess I can see no harm in sort of saying at least the industry I was in. So for those that are actually interested, the past 30 years I've been in aviation. Now that's been various operational roles, which meant sort of looking after the fleets of aircraft and making sure things were running smoothly. And then in the sort of final 12 years, I've been in more of a commercial environment, selling charters and contracting, that kind of thing. And my last role was as a commercial manager for a small operator, which I really enjoyed. That job's been a big part of my identity, or should I say that career has been a big part of my identity for those 30 years. I left school at 16 with just a few GCSEs. I started off my career basically cutting the grass at an airfield, cleaning the aircraft, all that kind of stuff. And I worked my way up. So there's been a lot of pride in getting to where I've got to. And I think that's why I've taken a little bit of a hit the past few months when actually I may not be able to continue in that industry. Maybe for the short term, maybe longer term. Then I also mentioned my side hustle. And basically, for those that are interested, I run a small coaching practice. And basically, I work with small business owners to help them sort of get clarity on where they're going, sort of get organised with what they're doing, and set some clear goals and take action towards sort of setting themselves up. And it's very small fry. I work with a couple of people at a time, mostly local people, but I really enjoy it. And that's somewhere I would love to see that take off full time at some point. But as I said in previous videos, that's some way away yet for sure. But I do really enjoy that. And I have to say that's the one thing I could see replacing aviation longer term. So I want to go back to those comments I was talking about. And one of the comments I received was, "You're waiting for a boss to make you happy." And that really hit home a little bit because I think it's actually true. My whole life has been on hold the past kind of 5-6 months, waiting to get a job. And that's taken its toll a little bit because ultimately I have no control about when I will get work again. I can control obviously what I apply for, that makes sense, but I need to have a different mindset to how I tackle this. Because God forbid something was to happen to me in the next couple of years, and hopefully it won't, but so if something was to happen, I would really regret the time wasted just because I haven't got a job right now. There's other things I can be doing, and I think that's really important. So I come from a generation where you kind of left school or college or university and okay, a job for life was probably long gone, probably my parents' generation, but you may be expected to do 3 or 4 sort of companies maybe over the course of your career, climb up the ladder continually until hopefully get to a point of retirement somewhere down the line. And what I actually think now is that's actually probably a limiting belief that I've got, in that I'm waiting for someone to give me a job. And actually the truth is, what I was taught back in the days of school, that that's what happens, is no longer valid. And in fact, if I sit here waiting for someone to give me a job, I could be waiting here for a very long time. So instead of sitting there waiting, I need to sort of tackle that limited belief and start thinking outside the box, because that's the only thing that's actually going to change stuff. Now, I think when it comes to having a job, like a full-time job like that, one of the things it gives you is that sense of security. you know, you're in a job, you've got money coming in, everything's great. But after going through the experience twice now of redundancy in the past couple of years, the truth is there's very little security now in a job anymore. If you think about it, and this is only my experience, I know people have had sort of better experiences of this, but when I was made redundant last time, I got given a consultation period of a couple of weeks, and that was just a waste of space. And then I got my 3 months notice period, which was lucky it's 3 months. It could have been a month quite easily. And then given some statutory redundancy. And that's, for anyone who's gone through sort of redundancy, the statutory thing's capped at such a low amount. It's a very little amount you get. And this similar thing happened to me in my previous role, statutory redundancy, after 10 years service, and I come away with very little. So we talk about job security. What is security anymore? It's not really there. I think if you're a civil servant, maybe that's slightly different. There's more security there. But certainly someone in the sort of private sector, job security is a thing of the past. And in fact, if you were to save up just a little bit of your salary to cover a couple of months' wages, and maybe even if you wanted to cover what you get paid in statutory redundancy, that's the best security you'll get anywhere else. And if you transfer this into working for yourself, what's the difference? You know, you kind of got the same level of security, is what I'm thinking. So if a job doesn't give you security anymore, and progression is kind of limited to a few, what does a job actually really give you? And the only thing I can really come up with is it's a cash flow. So in order to change that mindset, I'm now approaching this in a different way. If a job is just a revenue stream or cash flow, then I just need to replace that cash flow. I need to look at how I start bringing in money in different ways. And instead of having the goal of find a job, which is what I had, I've now changed that to I need to earn X amount. And that's now my goal. How I do it is up to me. So the plan is, first of all, instead of sitting there and doing the soul destroying job hunting of applying for 15, 20 jobs a week and getting no interest back whatsoever, I am now going to focus on purely on those jobs that I want and the ones that I think I've got a chance of getting. So that drops it right down, but I'm spending a bit more time on those applications. I think that's really important. I'm then also reaching out to my network, and I'm going out for contract work. So I'm reaching out to say, okay, this is my experience, guys. If not now, I'm around in the near future. Let's say, if you need any work doing, give me a shout. Is there anything I could do for you temporary? And I've had a few bites with that actually. But again, that's another revenue stream coming in. I've also got the side hustle, so I'm now ramping that up a little bit, and I've actually got an additional client now, which is great. Again, different revenue stream coming in. And then I'm starting to look at all the other stuff that I can do, all those little jobs that you can start putting together to make the money you need to earn. And I'm not sure what those are yet. It's something I'm still working on, but having this different aspect of I need to earn X amount as opposed to I need to find a job, there's a feeling of empowerment to it. I feel in a much better place. I feel like I've taken back control again, and I feel like it's on my terms. It's scary, but I also don't know if scary is also exciting. So we'll see. So that's the plan. So we'll see how we can build up those revenue streams over the course of the next few months. And then I've mentioned this briefly in another video about what else I'm trying to do, and that is really use this time whilst I've got the gap, and when the weather's lovely, to sort my health out again. You know, I've said before briefly that I need to lose a few stone. Let's get that on the go. Let's change those habits, and I'm kind of working on those. And then for that sort of sense of purpose, I didn't expect this YouTube thing to go off like it did. I mean, relatively, it's kind of small for I know, but I don't know where this YouTube thing will go. There's a curiosity about it. I enjoy doing it. If anything, it's kind of like a bit of therapy, just walking along, talking to a camera and getting the comments. So I'm going to keep pushing with this for now and just see where it goes. It kind of, again, in my life, it brings a bit of excitement because it's an open door and who knows where it can lead to. So I've kind of said to myself, right, I'm going to focus on trying to do at least a video a week and not stress too much about it. I'm going to try and improve a little bit on each video, hopefully, and let's just see where it goes. So we'll see where everything develops, and I'm really conscious now that I'm rambling on a little bit, so I'm going to just leave it there. I'm still getting used to sort of building a structure together, so I hope this isn't too waffly. I hope there's a central point to it. We'll see how we get on. And once again, I'd like to say really a big thank you for everyone that's sort of shown support so far. If you are new, please feel free to subscribe. It's much appreciated. Likewise, please comment if you're finding yourself going through something similar. Are you trying to set up your own revenue streams at the moment? What are you doing? Don't give too much away, you want to keep that to yourself. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if anyone else had a sort of change of mindset over the past few months and now trying to do something different. So I'll leave it there now. And again, thanks as always, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.